You'll see the other continents on the campaign mode map here, but we'll be getting to them later. After that very self-explanatory mission briefing, it's time for the first tutorial mission. And this here is Flak, the first of the Black Hole Commanders, and the main antagonist of the Orange Star campaign. He's basically your typical big, strong, dumb villain. Okay, here we go. Every country has its own mission start theme. This is Orange Stars, obviously. My personal favourite is the Green Earth one. That one's just amazing, but that's not till much later. And what better mission for a tutorial than just clearing up the remains of an already massively destroyed army. Now, this mission would be incredibly short if it weren't for the huge amount of tutorial dialogue. So I'll probably take this time to explain just a few of the things I'm going to talk about in this playthrough. As I said, I'm not going to explain any basic gameplay features because the game really does that for you. Well, Nell does. She's basically the tutorial girl, although she's also the commander of Orange Star. Unfortunately, you don't get to play as her in the campaign, though. She's a secret character who you unlock afterwards. And when Nell mentioned capture the headquarters or destroy all enemies, those are the standard victory conditions in Advance Wars. If a mission doesn't specify a particular goal, then that's how you win. I'm going to refer to that as standard victory conditions from now on. Now, you'll learn a lot more about capturing in the next mission. And really, in this one, you're not going to get to their headquarters. You will destroy all their troops long before you do that. Yeah, basic movement range thing. Speed up this text. It's pretty obvious. And quite similar to Fire Emblem 2. Ah, here is an APC. It's interesting, I always thought that the first mission is a little early to be introducing you to transports. But basically, APCs can transport one infantry unit. They're very useful in this regard, particularly when you need to cross large distances to get to neutral bases. Which, again, doesn't really matter in this mission because there's, like, nothing here, but normally they're extremely useful. And the other primary use of APCs is to restore fuel and ammo to units. So, yeah, basically, some units have limited ammo in their attacks, infantry don't. They have unlimited ammo. Interestingly, everything has fuel. Even infantry have fuel, but in terms of infantry, fuel apparently represents rations. But you don't need to worry about that because you never need to worry about infantry running out of fuel, ever. It's just something that's not going to happen. And that's basically how to load something onto a transport. Infantry inside transports are basically safe from all forms of damage, unless the transport is destroyed, in which case they die too. Yeah, foot soldiers can cross rivers. Vehicles can't, though. And anyway, in this playthrough, I may be making comparisons between this game and other games in the series. Just a note, if I refer to Days of Ruin in any way, I'll be referring to the European names. For people who don't know, the American and European localizations of that game have completely different translations, which means all the characters have totally different names. This is important because later on I'm going to be making comparisons between the commanders in that game and the commanders in this one. But in this one you're playing as Andy, who... he's the average character of this game. Basically all his units are average, he has no strengths but no weaknesses either. Unlike some other genres though, where that might be seen as a disadvantage, being average with all units is actually pretty helpful in this game. Especially in things like, in Days of Ruin Wi-Fi, a random map is chosen each time, which means you need to be able to adapt, and even though this game doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi, it's good to have someone who can really be useful on any kind of map. And yeah, I let the enemy attack me first there, that was a bit stupid, but... basically, I don't think I did this mission as well as I could have, but it doesn't matter. You seriously need to try to lose this one. In fact, you actually need to try not to get a perfect S rank in order not to get one. And another pointer, I'll be leaving battle animations on, but if a video gets too long, I'll cut some of them out. There's no limit to the amount of times you can supply with APC, so it's always worthwhile just to do it if you're next to anything. As you'll notice, as a unit's HP decreases, their attack power goes down as well. Now, initially this might seem a bit strange, but in this game, a unit represents a squad of often 5, so as it loses HP, various members of the squad get killed, and thus it has less power. And that's the first mission done. Pretty easy. As I said, you have to try to lose that one. And Andy's saying exactly what we're thinking here. But the campaign does get a lot harder, especially in the later missions.
Mission complete.
And I'll explain about rankings in detail later, but let's just say that I'm going to be getting S ranks in every mission, but even if it's your first time playing, expect to get a lot of S ranks in the Orange Star campaign. And I'll explain this screen later, because I don't really have time now. And that's the first mission of Advance Wars 2.